I did a tutorial of this hairstyle a couple months ago that was super long, Rapunzel length. You see right here, just super long but beautiful. And I wanted to do the style again, but in a bob length. And the only way I can really achieve a good bob length with her hair is if I do Bantu knot in. So I was like, why not do a tutorial on that? So I've already sectioned the top portion off from the back. Right now we're starting in the back, and we're doing some knotless braids. You're gonna make them long, I would say about mid-back length, but right now I am just parting the row for the knotless braids. And you can make these boho with human hair or whatnot. Everything that I'm using will be in the description box. I am not doing boho right away. Some people like to braid it in. I'm doing that last, and I'm just going to latch hook it in. I like to do that because it's synthetic hair that I'm using. It's not human hair, so if it get ratty, I can cut it out. But usually it doesn't bother me at all. So right now I'm just creating the sections. You can make these as small as you want. I'm doing more of a like medium large size, just enough to make it where it's full. Now I am starting off my knotless braid. I've shown you guys, and if you haven't seen, but I've done this knotless 1,000 times. So I'm not going to capture too much of how I did the back. Even more so because I've done this hairstyle long. I didn't really change up much with this hairstyle other than the Bantu knots and the length, of course. And partially too, I'm going to give a little bit more detail on how I sectioned off the cornrows, but either way, it's the same thing, a knotless braid, and I'm just braiding it down past her mid back. And I want it long because when you do, or you want it long, because if you're doing the Bantu knots, it needs to be longer than the length that you desire. So you'll have enough braid to wrap around the ends of the knotless braid. I hope that makes sense, but you want to make sure it's long enough so that when you wrap it into the Bantu knot, it's not all like super skinny, super small. You want it to be a nice size Bantu knot. So yeah. And I'm just showing you guys me braiding it all the way down. Again, I'll probably show you guys just a little bit of me doing this. I'm not going to show every braid. I might show a braid per row. Right now we're on the second row and I'm just braiding it, and I'm just pretty much just doing the entire back the same way. I start off with 3 pillars, then I make the braid, then I start feeding in little pieces. I do have the hair on a braiding wrap already prepared again, so that helps with time because getting it off the bundle for me does not help me at all. So I like to prep ahead of time. If you are liking this content, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And if you have been on my channel and you just love all of my videos, or if you just found out about me, become a member. Become a Royal Gem Slayer, okay? And join my membership. You'll get members only perks like early releases, some shout outs, etc. I'll be doing more members only lives and all that. You can get to know me personally on a more personal level. And yeah, so become a Royal Gem member. And yeah, you get all these lovely perks. And I'll be doing more one-on-one like things slowed down. So that's for my members, you know, the Royal Gem Slayers. So yeah. Well, anyway, so right here I am creating this circular braid that will be a part of the ponytail, just so that I'm not going to a very narrow point. And I'm just braiding this very long because I want this braid in particular to be the one to wrap around the ponytail once the entire ponytail is braided. And I have completed the entire back section. And now you just see me just feeding in hair and braiding this down. I'm super excited about this hairstyle. Like, I love this hairstyle. I rock the bob myself and I just love it. Like, It's something about a bob in the summertime, you know? But you see, I did braid her other braids now that I'm looking a little bit past her mid back. So the longer you make it, the better the wrap will be as far as the Bantu. Now I'm showing you it all sectioned off. It's 4 sections at the top. Each section will have 3 cornrows. And you don't necessarily have to do this design, but if you want to do the design that I am doing, you want to make sure you do 3 cornrows. You're parting off 3. But if not, you could do a zigzag braid. You could do some crisscross braids. You can do a whole design as long as it amounts to the amount of braids that she will have at the top. So if it's 4 sections and it's 3 braids, that lets you guys know that there will be 12 cornrows. You should have 12 cornrows at the top of your head if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it. You can slant them. You can do whatever you need to do, but that's what I did. You can make them smaller. You can make them micro. It's really up to the fullness you want of the ponytail. Just know the smaller the braid, the more breakage could happen as far as takedown. Small braids can cause breakage, especially if your hair is not healthy. So that's just a braid pro tip that I wanted to give out there. But I gave her a decent size so the takedown won't be crazy. Now, I can say that I am not adding in the braiding hair right away. And I know you guys are like, well, how'd she get the length? I'm going to show you guys how I got the length once you continue watching. But right now, if your client has full hair like hers, you simply just want to braid it all the way with their natural hair. If not, and you're going for a more feed-in look, you can feed in smaller pieces, and I'm gonna tell you when. So you can feed them in starting at the beginning, only if, and you want to do a very, very small pieces, very, very small piece, only if your client's hair is thin. But once you get about here, if you want to build a braid, you can do that, or a little bit further. I want to say braid a little bit more. Probably about here, you want to start adding in small pieces. Again, you always want to add in small pieces if you want to build the braid in a more of a feed-in, more fuller look. But for me, I'm not adding in no braiding hair right now. That will all be added in later. So stay tuned for that and watch me braid this down. This hairstyle will last a full month with proper maintenance and care. When I say maintenance, I mean oil in the scalp, wearing a shower cap at when you're taking a bath or a shower, wearing a nice scarf around it, taking care of your braids, just really maintaining it. If you click the link in the description and in the right, I'm going to put in a card. You'll see how this hairstyle looked after 3 weeks. And yeah, but I just want to let you guys know that this hairstyle is a very good protective hairstyle when you maintain it. Now, granted, we did go swimming. It is the summertime. And by her going swimming, we did not um tie it down the day we went swimming because it wasn't dry. Bantu knots tend to take a little bit longer with drying, so that will be the only time you will not need to wear any type of protective headwear. As far as showering and sleeping, you should be fine, but as soon as it's all dry, you want to go back into the routine of making sure you're wearing a headscarf and a shower cap when bathing. So I just wanted to put that out there. So be mindful of that when you see this video. Right now, I'm on the second to last braid in the second section. So again, it is 3 braids in each section. You should end with 12. Now, if your client's head size is bigger, then, like I said, work it out, make it the design that you want, or you can keep it, again, 12 braids. Or if your client hair is smaller, if you can't do 3 in each section, then do 2. And the way that I created the sections was I parted it down the middle, and then I parted each half in half. And then after that, I determined the size of braid that I wanted per section. And that's how I came to it will only be 3. But you can swoop it. You could do whatever design again. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Since I showed you guys how I did the cornrows as far as on her scalp, now I am showing you how I add in the extensions to make these long. And you are most likely going to make these, if not the same length as the knotless, or longer, because these will be going into a ponytail. So you want to feed in the hair till you get to the thickness of the braid to match the back section of knotless, and also to make the length very long. So I hope I explained that very well. So you are building the braid right now. You are building it to the size of the knotless braids in the back, because you don't want to have teeny tiny braids in the back that don't match. You want to make sure that all the braids are around the same size, and you want to braid them extremely long. Not extremely long, but a little bit longer than the knotless braids in the back, because again, these will be more so in a ponytail. Or you can make them the exact same length. because I want her ponytail to be a little bit shorter than her knotless braids, making it the same length as the knotless braids is fine. So make it the same length as the knotless braids if you plan on having the ponytail being shorter. I didn't want the ponytail to blend in to the back. I wanted it to really look like a half up, half down, where it's a ponytail and then it's down in the back. So that was the thought process of how I did this. Now you see my grandbaby. I had a special appearance. She was all up in this, all around my feet while I was doing this hairstyle. But anyway, back to this. Just build the braid. And you want to make sure that the hairs detangle as you go. You do not want to be braiding in hair that is tangled up, because takedown will cause breakage and it's just not going to be fun. You want to make sure that your client hair is nice and healthy throughout the braids, not in some knots. So that's why you will see me detangle. And I'm just adding in and building the braid. And my tuck game had to be strong, okay, because she had blunt ends. So I was tucking, using that braiding gel to really help me mold in her natural hair and blend in well. Also, the color of this hair is 2 and a 4 in expressions. Again, everything that I've used and where I buy it from will all be in the description box. I like to order mine. It comes right to my house, hassle free. I don't have to worry about going into the hair store and being annoyed with it not being there. I get everything in a timely fashion. And if I do come up to a point where I just don't have, like, I have to go because I didn't have time to order, then I will. But once I got done doing all of that, I am now dipping the ends. And I'm only dipping, I'm not going all the way up because her hair is in there. That is mostly the reason why, we're doing the length that we're doing as far as the bob, because her hair is long. You want to make sure you never dip the hair in hot boiling water past your client's hair naturally in the braid. So I only basically did the tips. Now I am doing the ponytail, and I am just making it not tight, but a little loose. And then I got that one braid that I said I want super long, which was that base braid, and I'm wrapping it. I'm wrapping it out of the way around the base. The reason being is because, one, I don't want to end up making a Bantu knot of this when I have to, wrap it around. So I'm getting it out the way, wrapping it nicely. You do want to make sure that you oil your client's scalp or your model scalp. And you want to do that, but I'm securing this with a hair tie and a rubber band, and you see I am just oiling her scalp. Now off camera, I did end up taking that ponytail out and oiling in between there as well, because that needs to be juiced up too, and then I rewrapped it. So yeah, so you want to make sure you oiling the parts. Now I glob it because I only put it one way, and you see I'm just putting it one way, and then I'm going to put my fingers downward throughout the hair. And that's pretty much how I oil any of my clients' hair. It just makes the process faster. I like to do that because the boho hair it doesn't go well when you're trying to add in the grease after you do the boho. So it's steps to this, okay? So now I'm doing the Bantu knots, which you guys seen me. And if you haven't seen my other videos, go check them out of hairstyles with Bantu knots. But I'm basically measuring it to the length, then I'm just wrapping around the end. You can make them as neat as you want, or as some people like to do like a certain design with each one. I just like to just twirl it up the braid and then downward, and then I secure it with a rubber band in place. Some people dip it, which I would not recommend, especially if you know your client's hair is at the length that you're doing the Bantu knots. That is one of the reasons why she is able to get a bob length, because I'm doing Bantu knots, because I can't cut her hair into a bob in the braid. So you don't want to be dipping it if your client's hair is the length of the braid. You just want to secure it with a rubber band. And you don't want to do it super tight, because you got to remember, this is the end of your client's hair, or some part of your client's hair is in this braid. And if you make it too tight, it can cause breakage. So you want to make it where it's just not going to come apart, you know, and it really secures that Bantu knot. And you just want to wrap. And again, I have other slowed down videos. I have shorts of this, of me just doing a more close-up look of doing a Bantu knot. Comment below. If you guys have any questions, please comment below and I will answer. I do answer back and give all the advice that I know and have. I've been a master braider. I have been a master braider for a very long time now. I started braiding when I was 12. I'm now 36, going on 37. So I've been out here for a long time. Now you see me doing the ponytail. Again, you want to make the ponytail a little bit shorter so it won't blend in and look like it's a part of the back. And that is what I'm doing. And I'm just creating that Bantu knot all the way around. Once I am done, you see all those flyaways? I'm going to get the scissors and I'm about to cut all of those. I'm going to do each and every braid and I'm going to cut as many flyaways off as I can because I just can't do it. And you do see that these Bantu knots are a little bit bigger, so you can make the braids a little bit shorter than the back if you want, but I loved how it turned out. Now I am latch hooking in the boho hair. And I like to do this method because I can literally take them out if I don't like them over time. That is a great thing when latch hooking them in. Now, if you are doing human hair pieces, I would not recommend latch hooking them in. I would recommend braiding them in. And they should last if it's real human hair and you shouldn't have to worry about tangles. And I just make sure all the curly hair is all the same length. Now I'm doing her edges. I only leave a little bit out with my daughter only because I don't want her to end up balding due to wearing too much edge stuff all the time and getting used to that because I have done a ton of girls' hair and it's getting very thin around the perimeter due to them wearing their edges out, not rinsing the product out, and just constantly brushing it with this edge brush. So be mindful of that. Because you girls got to get older and you don't want to have thin edges. And after that, I go over it with some oil sheen and really make sure it's nice and moisturized. Here is the finished product. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, again, subscribe. But you see, nice and crispy. It's super cute, easy breezy. And yeah, I just love it. Now here is the longer version and some other tutorials you guys will like. Peace and hair grease. Bye.